Welcome everyone. You've reached Grandma Mo. Appreciate it if you can hit that subscribe button for me. So, this was one of the Friday nights on Ion games, and this was just a terrific game. Minnesota and the Washington Mystics. And the Mystics were leading, I would say, 85% of the game. They went out to a strong 11-point lead in the beginning, but then Minnesota came right back. You know, they're not number one in the WNBA for nothing, even without Nafisa Collier. But the Lynx had a pretty big scare right in the first play of the game where there was this huge collision, and Kayla McBride had to be helped off the court. And that was a little scary. I mean, you have Collier out if you lose McBride. But fortunately, she was okay. She ended up coming back a little later in the quarter. I think she came back at, still in the first quarter. If anything, it was, in the first half. But the Mystics played tough. They were doing really well, and they just, they've had quite a few games like this where they've gotten close, but they just couldn't get the win. And, this one is another one. But Minnesota had great, cuts to the basket from Alanna Smith. She had so many just right to the hoop. And some of them were dribbling, and then some of them she would just cut to the basket, and her teammates would get her the ball. She ended up, I believe, let me double check here, but I think she was their leading scorer. Yeah, 25 points for Alanna Smith. She was 10 for 15 from the floor, and then she was hitting three-pointers. She was 4 for 9. She had 5 rebounds, 4 assists. She ended up with 4 turnovers. Oh, that's the other thing. This game was filled with a lot of passes being intercepted. They weren't, just active hands, and it shows in the turnovers. Most of them were, there was a couple that were shot clock violations, but the Mystics had 20 turnovers and the Lynx had 14. And most of them were these passes that were just getting intercepted. So the Lynx get the win 80-76, and then Washington had started out with a lead 22-15 in the first. And then they kind of went dead in the second half of the first quarter because they were still ahead until about the 3-minute mark when 3 or 2 minute mark before halftime when Minnesota finally caught back up to them. And then it was just neck and neck the whole rest of the way. So in the second quarter, Minnesota outscored them 23-13. And most of that came in the second half of the second quarter because they were down. They were definitely down. And, Citron was playing well. Shakira Austin, she played pretty well. The Mystics overall as a team, Iria Finn was doing well, but just came up short. So the third quarter was even, 20 points apiece, and then Minnesota outscored Washington 22-21 to get the 80-76 win. So points in the paint were pretty even. Washington 34, Minnesota 30. Second chance points, Washington outscored Minnesota 12-6. Biggest lead was the 4 points for Minnesota at the end, and the Mystics had an 11-point lead. So let's see. But Minnesota capitalized on those 20 turnovers. They got 25 points off those turnovers, where Washington only got 19 off the 14, which, that's still pretty good. So looking at the stats, Sonia Citron, just terrific game for her. 26 points. She had a steal, 3 turnovers, 4 assists, 1 rebound. She was 9 for 12 overall and 4 for 5 from 3, and then she was 4 for 6 from the foul line. Iria Finn, 12 points. She hit every shot she put up, but she had 5 turnovers, 4 assists, and 9 rebounds. Yeah, those were, part of those passes being intercepted. So then Shakira Austin, 12 points. She was 6 for 16 overall. She had some shots that she definitely could have made, but she just didn't. They didn't go down for her. So she had 2 steals, 2 turnovers, 2 assists, and 6 rebounds. They just need more from her inside. When they win, they get a lot from her inside. Melbourne, she didn't score at all. She had 2 turnovers, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. A lot of dribbling. A lot of dribbling from her. Just sometimes there was one play where she just dribbled the whole time and then ended up taking the shot. Like she almost ran out the shot clock just dribbling around, and then it's never good when that happens. I mean, sometimes it's needed, but not the whole time. You gotta pass the ball around. Shug Sutton, 4 points. She didn't shoot well. She was 2 for 9 overall, 0 for 5 from 3. She had 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 4 assists, and 1 rebound. Lucy Olson, she also didn't shoot very well. 6 points, 1 steal, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. She was 2 for 9 and then 2 for 5 from 3. She did okay from 3. Emily Inkster, 5 points. She had 2 steals, 3 turnovers, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. She was 2 for 4, 1 for 2 from 3. Alicia Clark made a 3-point shot in her first game with the Mystics. She had 2 assists and 2 rebounds. She played like 12 minutes. And then Stephanie Dolson, she hit some threes. She had just a regular basket near the hoop and then 2 3-point shots. Because she was, I think it was last year, she was really great from the 3-point line. And then this year she just hasn't been hitting them. So it was nice for her to get a couple of those. They were early in the game. She had 1 turnover and 4 rebounds. And then the 8 points. So the Mystics shot 47% overall. They also shot 47% from 3. They only went to the line 9 times, and they made 6 of them. So, but Minnesota, great game for Alanna Smith. And they had a pretty balanced attack, though. But those cuts from Alanna Smith were just terrific. Let's see. McBride had 11 points. Not her best game. She shot 3 for 8, 0 for 3 from 3. Went to the line 6 times, made 5 of them. She had 4 assists, 1 turnover, 3 steals. There's a lot of steals, like 7 steals for both teams in this game. That was those intercepted passes. Let's see here. And Jessica Shepard, 4 points. She had 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a turnover and a steal. She was 1 for 5. Courtney Williams was 7 for 13, 53%. So she had a good game. 14 points, 5 assists, 3 turnovers, 2 rebounds, and she had a block. There were Minnesota ended up having 5 blocks, and Washington only had 1. Kondalikova had 5 points. She was 2 for 4. She only played 6 minutes. Dejanay Carrington, 12 points, 4 for 7 from the floor, 2 for 4 from 3. She had a block, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, and 2 rebounds. And then Heidemann, 7 points for her. She hit a 3 and a couple of other hoops. Let's see. So that was it. Bridget Carlton had 2 points. She only took 2 shots. She usually shoots more than that. But she had a block, a turnover, 3 assists, and 6 rebounds. So Minnesota shot 52% from the floor and then 36% from 3. But this game came down to, it was close the whole way, other than Washington's initial push right in the beginning of the game. So Citron hits this 3 right, to tie the score up, and then Minnesota comes right back down, and Courtney Williams hits a short jumper from the baseline to give Minnesota the 2-point lead. And then the Mystics tried to come back, and they missed their shot, and then they ended up fouling Kayla McBride, and she hit 2 foul shots to end the game. But very exciting game. Lots of hustle and back and forth, and great cuts to the basket. Nice game from Citron and Alanna Smith from Minnesota. So this was a, nice way to, kick off Friday nights on Ion. So anyway, that's it for this one. And the Minnesota Lynx are now 26-5, and Washington has dropped to 13-17. So, okay, we'll see you next time.